Whole populations of animals are now forced to travel great distances in pursuit of food and warmth. "300,000 Baikal teal gather to escape from the Siberian winter by migrating south to Korea. The world's entire population in a single flock. But there are parts of the world that have no seasons. As the ice disappears, seabirds return to the high Arctic. Little auks arrive in their millions. In some ways, these birds are the penguins of the north. They seek bare rock on which to lay their eggs, and they look rather like penguins too. Unlike Antarctica, the Arctic... Red-billed quelea, 1.5 billion, swarm across the savannas of Africa. These are the most numerous birds on Earth. Some flocks are so vast that they can take 5 hours to pass overhead. Only grass can feed plagues of these proportions. The ravenous hordes devour the seeds, and the leaves and stems are cropped by great herds of antelope. A male bluebird of paradise is advertising for a mate. It's quite a performance, but he's not the only bird of paradise here keen to make an impression. There are nearly 40 different kinds on the island of New Guinea, each with a display seemingly more bizarre than the rest. A rifle bird of paradise. Like many jungle animals, birds of paradise avoid competing with each other, and these do so by living in different parts of this jungle-covered island. The six-plumed bird of paradise displays in his special clearing on the forest floor. The magnificent bird of paradise favours the low branches of bushes. His female is modestly dressed. The male has a good set of lungs, but he'll have to do more than flutter his eyelids if he wants to impress her. It'll all depend on his performance. The females may be dull-looking, but they're very picky. And it's time for a really close inspection. His right side looks fine, but what about his left? Pretty impressive, but is he magnificent enough? Oh dear, her departure says it all. Generations of choosy females have driven the evolution of these remarkable displays. The more extravagant a male is, the more likely he'll be noticed. Although most life in tropical waters is concentrated around the coral reefs and the seagrass meadows, there are some spectacular exceptions. The desert of Bahrain seems a very unlikely place to find a crowded, bustling colony of seabirds. But every year, 100,000 Socotra cormorants gather here to breed. It's swelteringly hot, and only vigorous panting can prevent the birds from fatal overheating. This hardly seems a good place to rear young. But at least there are no land-based predators here. The only source of trouble is likely to be the neighbours. So each nest is built just beyond pecking reach. But what about food? There's only bare sand and the warm, shallow sea beyond. Neither seem likely to produce enough nourishment to support bird life on this scale. The answer is blowing in the wind. Sand, whipped up by Shamal's offshore winds, blows into the seas of the Arabian Gulf. With the grains come nutrients, which act as fertilizer, and they transform the 400,000 greater snow geese flock to the estuaries along the Atlantic coast of the United States to rest and refuel on their long migratory journeys. Is the end of the river's journey. Collectively, they've worn down mountains and carried them to the sea, and all along the way, their fresh water has brought life in abundance to planet Earth.